Hi, I'm Gavin Haverstick with Haverstick Designs. I'm here with Seids in her home studio, and this is the Sound Project. Seids, thanks so much for having us in your studio.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. So we've been working together for a little while.
Yeah.
I think that was last year that
Yeah.
you reached out.
Since I moved in here, so yeah, almost like 6-9 months.
We were literally here on moving day, I think.
On moving day.
It was wild. You had posted something on Instagram about like, hey, what kind of acoustical panels should I get in my studio? And Aaron Barra commented, like, you need to talk to Gavin.
Yeah.
And so you sent me a direct message and said, hey, I want to talk to you about some panels in my studio. And I looked up your profile and saw that you were in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I happened to be 5 minutes away.
I know.
I was here. I grew up in high school. I lived here in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I was visiting family. And I just had like a couple hours before my flight when I got your message. And I was like, I can swing by today, you know? And you were literally the moving truck.
Yeah,
was out
I was
front.
like, we're trying to coordinate the times. And I was like, oh, I hope it works out.
Yeah. And it was perfect because I had my distance finder in my bag, and I came in here and I took measurements of all
and it's like, you can't really tell from the video. It's kind of like a weird shaped room, and I didn't want to have to do that myself.
Yeah. No, it was like...
So I was happy that you did it for me.
It was amazing timing. I was like, and that happens to me a lot, actually, when I'm in towns, because I travel a lot for work. A lot of times I'll get messages from people where they're actually in the town I'm at. So it's like a nice coincidence.
The universe is working.
Exactly.
Doing its thing.
So yeah, I came over, I took some physical measurements of the room. You were looking to get some acoustical treatment in here. And we actually did some renderings of the space and kind of showed you how it was going to look. And we used these panels from Acoustical Fulfillment all around the room. It's actually one of their kits called a Studio AF kit. And you posted some videos on your page about the difference.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, it's been really nice to have it. Now I'm so spoiled. And I remember you were saying, because it's kind of like getting a sound bar and a TV. You just don't really know what can happen.
Sure.
It's just like, I was like crazy, and then I was like, oh wow. And now I don't think I can go back to having an untreated room. Yeah. Even with my videos, like even just me talking, it's a huge difference.
Yeah, and you have another studio right on the other side of this wall, and it's identical in every way.
Identical space. Well, it's not my studio, it's my boyfriend's studio.
Yes.
Imagine I had two studios.
You have to have one treated and one untreated just so you can change it up.
Yeah, no, so he has his studio, and unfortunately I'm sure he wants it to also be treated, but he doesn't have it treated, but it's cool to see the comparisons and how much different it is.
Yeah. And so tell us first a little bit about your background and kind of how you got to where you are right now.
Yeah, for sure. So for the longest time, I was just a singer. I was singing gigs.
Don't say just a singer.
Oh.
I mean,
I kind of was. I was like a gigging singer. So I was like, you need a singer for like a gig, like you'd call me, and that was like really cool. And I was doing that for like 10 years in New York City, doing like weddings and high-end events, and then I was building a girl group to go back on cruise ships. I guess I was doing a little bit more than singing because I like built all the arrangements and all that stuff for that. But anyways, that was an unsuccessful business because COVID happened, and my first cruise ship gig was May 2020.
That's perfect timing.
Yeah, literally. It was like 2 years of like investing and building the show and getting the costumes and rehearsing all the dance moves, like everything. It was like full cabaret production. And then that happened. I sulked around for like 6 months, just like in my house, just like, woe is me.
Yeah.
No job.
Rightly
just
so.
turned 30. Like, it felt awful. And then actually a Facebook ad, thank God they're listening, delivered. And they said, learn how to produce in 30 days. I was like, this is so stupid. I went to Berkeley. I didn't learn how to produce. How am I going to learn on this, like, pre-recorded class? It had a sale, so I decided to take the class.
Yeah.
And once I did, I became obsessed. For me, it was just like learning how to program in drums. Once I did that, I was like, wow, I can write all my music on Logic.
Yeah.
And then I started posting on TikTok. And then once I started posting on TikTok, I realized how much I liked, marketing and social media marketing and sales. And then started working with music tech companies. And now that's how I'm doing, kind of what I'm doing now.
It's amazing. You probably, when you're going to Berkeley, you probably never envisioned like this path.
I mean, not even like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like if you had told me 3 years ago, I'd be working with like all of these music tech companies like Splice and Antares, I would have been like, I don't even know who they are.
Yeah, right?
I'd be like, who?
It's funny when you come to those moments, like you see in that Facebook ad and just deciding like, okay, I'm going to do this, like how it can like shape your whole life. You know?
Yeah, it really just like changed so much for me as far as like what it takes to be a full-time musician or, you know, what it takes to be like creative and how to create your own opportunities. And that's why I always tell people like, don't just be like really good at one thing. Try to like, don't just be great at one thing, be really good at a bunch of things.
Right.
So like, you know, like I said, for a while I was just kind of like the singer and like I was really confident in that. And now I'm like a singer and a producer and an engineer and a content creator and an educator. And like all of those things have allowed me to like really make money.
Yeah.
Finally,
right?
Yeah.
It all pays off. Well, so what's a typical day for you like?
Oh, every day is different, right? Like today I woke up at 7:30 to film this.
Yeah, this is not the...
Some days I'm up until 3, like doing something for a deadline or, you know, I try to post my day a lot too because I try to do like vlogs and stuff. Like for me, time blocking really helps. Like just saying, okay, from this time to this time, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And I don't know, every day is so different. I definitely post every day.
Yeah.
So I try to stick to that because I know how important that is.
Yeah. On all platforms, you do it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I try. I definitely always post on Instagram and usually always on TikTok. And then I'm really trying now on YouTube. So those are the 3 I've been, like, really focusing on.
Sure.
But, yeah, and then I'm, like, always making videos or making music because, like, they go 2 and 2 together. I also do top lining for producers. So sometimes recording a lot of vocals and writing harmonies.
Yeah.
And then I'm always like trying to learn and also read. I just started a book club.
Oh, did you?
If anyone's interested, it's free. It's
that's
just
very
fun.
cool.
Yeah, right now we're reading The Creative Act by Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And I just, yeah.
With the book club, what's the format for people to get
to sign up?
Yeah, to sign up, and then also like how do you guys interact about it?
Oh, so it's on Zoom.
Okay.
So it's once a month on Zoom. The first one is actually in 10 days. Well, I don't know when this comes out.
It'll probably come out afterwards.
Yeah, anyway, so it's once a month, and you can just sign up in like my bio. And hopefully I'm still doing this when this video comes out.
Yeah, you will be.
I'm sure it will be. Yeah. And it's just in my bio, and it's just kind of like I'm always looking for a way for us to connect without like virtually and also just to connect. So basically you just sign up for this book club. I'll probably just ask a few questions for us to like discuss just like any other book club. Like what did this mean to you or how is this going to change your business? And always going back to like helping and how is this going to impact you and stuff like that. And like Rick Rubin talks about a lot of stuff. Like I've just read one that he was saying like, you know, change up your groove a bit because like you get stuck in like creating stuff in the same exact way.
Yeah.
So try to do things a little bit differently.
That's really good because if you get comfortable, then you just fall into the same rut of doing the same thing.
He was kind of talking about rules, like okay, we have our rules, but then if everyone follows the same rules, everything sounds exactly the same or looks exactly the same.
Right.
So the really iconic stuff is people knowing these rules but then breaking them, or then coming up with the other stuff. So it's kind of challenging yourself. Okay, how can you get to that next level or that deeper part of you? So yeah, I'll talk about that kind of stuff in the book club. So it should be fun.
Yeah, that's really
depending
cool.
on the book, but yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Are you going to do obviously probably all music related books? Do you have like a lineup of things you want to do?
I want to do like music or like music business or you know music mindset. I'm also really important about like mindset stuff. So probably a combination of those 3 things.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I'm really passionate about education and different ways to like educate instead of just like going to an institution.
Yeah.
There's lots of different ways that people can be, you know, can learn. And then I'm also really passionate, as you know, about like free education and offering, because I would love a scenario where education was either like really, really affordable and or free.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's what I love about all your platforms is just like you're giving out really useful information.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you're successful with it because people are just like, they'll eat that information up. Like they're just looking for help in any way and you're free about it. And that's kind of why we started the podcast too, is just to give people information, make them better.
Yeah.
So I think it's great what you're doing.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I mean, I don't want to sound like a martyr because I do still charge for some stuff.
Sure.
But like, you know, I think it's just like having a combination. Like when I say my one-on-ones, I think my one-on-ones are pretty expensive. So the people that can afford those, I try to explain like, well, because you're paying for this, I'm able to do all these other free things.
Right.
So that's kind of like how I'm trying to think about it in my mind. Whereas, because if I just did one-on-ones, even for less price, and that was my full-time gig, then I wouldn't be able to do the free stuff.
Sure.
So it just kind of is like a combination like that.
I think it's great. What do you, what do you see is next for you? Because, I mean, it's been a relatively short period of time that you've been doing this, and you probably have a lot of ideas of what to do next.
So many things I want to do as most artists. Yeah. But I think I'm really passionate about, like, building up, like, marketing and sales and community strategies for, like, brand new music tech companies, maybe music tech companies we haven't even heard of or yet. Like, I'd love to help them kind of cultivate their ideas, and that's something I'm really passionate about. So that, and then also more, you know, giving back to the community. I really want to, like, change the music industry. Like, obviously not entirely, but there's bits and pieces, like, I want to change. Free education, giving people work. I'd love to figure out ways to, like, you know, sponsor people to actually create and to work, like, just a full ecosystem of, like, helping these music tech companies make money so they can give back, to give free education, and then also giving grants to help people make money making music, and then non-musicians buy that stuff. So it's kind of like a full circle, and then those musicians can then buy products from music tech companies. So it's like a full circle,
it all comes right.
And I just want to try to initiate some of that process.
That'd be amazing. I mean, that's obviously like a big vision, but it's like, if anybody can do it, you can do it.
I try. And I feel like you can see it. Like, I can see it now. So it's like the motion is starting to move slowly and surely. It's so hard because you start to, like, doubt yourself. And anytime you try to, like, change the way things are, like, we were talking a lot today about, like, free internships and how I hate that people don't even pay, like, minimum wage to their internships. And just that small change is just a huge difference. Because then those people that got paid for their internships, when they become big and successful and have their own businesses, they pay their interns. So it's kind of like the cycle. It's like any little impact you could make on that, it may not change the whole thing, but if it changes the minds of 5 or 6 people, then all the interns that would work for them, and it's just a cycle. I know. If I can change one of these people's minds to start paying their interns. I'd be so happy. That'd be awesome. So one of the things that you do that I think is really cool is your social media class. Like, I know Haverstick Designs, for instance, like, we've been making a big push on social media the last couple of years, and with this YouTube channel and podcast, and it's just, we've seen the results in that, you know, just people being able to find us, know who we are, be able to see cool walkthroughs of studios that we do, and obviously social media is a huge thing for you, and you're giving back to other people with this class. So. Yeah, I mean, social media was, like, the main thing that kind of, like, triggered, like, yes, I was learning how to produce, and that was helpful to be able to, you know, have this other skill that I can kind of, you know, service I can sell sort of thing. But if you don't know who to sell it to, then you're just a thing that you can do, you know? So social media is great because it's a free and accessible way to get clients or fans. And I really feel like a lot of artists are musicians or music creators are reluctant to use it because, you know, it's a drag, and, you know, if we could, we all would just like to make our art, right? But unfortunately, like, I think just how, like, in the gym, like, it's, you know, people are like, oh, if I work out, I'll be skinny. But no, it's 80% diet and, like, 20% working out. And I think that's the same thing here. It's, like, 20% talent and, like, 80% marketing. And people don't really get it. And so anytime you hear a song to your ears, it's because they have a really good marketing strategy, whether it be, like, a social media marketing strategy or many times a paid marketing strategy. So social media is a free and accessible marketing thing that anybody can do, and most people already have all the tools at their wheelhouse, right? It's something for us. Like, I would say even just like 3 or 4 years ago, I would post, like, I don't know, once a month, because I would just get wrapped up in so much of the projects that we are doing. And it's funny when I talk to some people who are really good at marketing and social media, they look at our studios that we've done, and it's like, you have this gold mine of things that you can put out there. People are interested in that stuff, and they like to see cool studios. And for us, we want to, with these walkthroughs, we also kind of want to show, like, behind the scenes. Like, you see these great pictures in Mix Magazine of these studios. It's like, well, how did you get there? Because it's not just doesn't happen overnight. And so there's all this cool content that you can do, and it helps people as well. It's not just going to help you with your business, but and it's like, it's a funnel, right? So it all comes down to, like, what you actually want to do. And so I just feel like it can only help. And I feel like so many people look at it the wrong way. You know, if you have a bad relationship maybe with your own insecurities, or if you're just trying to go viral, it's not about going viral. It's about like who sees your video instead of how many people see your video or picture, whatever. So yeah, I think it's really great that you've been doing the social media stuff, and I'm always going to be pro social media.
Well, and I think it's kind of hilarious because we wouldn't be sitting here if it weren't for social media.
Exactly.
Like, you found us on Instagram, and then through all of this too, like, you treated your room. Ryan Brinkworth, our business development manager, took your social media class, and he runs our social media. And so, like, it just all kind of
I mean, like, pretty much everything in the studio has been, like, from social media.
Yeah.
And I really view, like, social media as, like, fishing. Like, you put out the right bait, and then all the fishes bite.
Yeah. So
when I came to this, a little backstory, when I was moving in the house, I just, like, filmed, like, my studio, and, like, it was just an empty room, and I was like, what should I put in here? And in my mind, I was like, I'm going to attract brands that are going to want to put stuff in here.
Right.
Because obviously I have a platform for it, and then people see it. So, and, like, I do that with everything. People don't realize, like, every single thing I post is for a strategy.
Yeah.
So it's like, you could just post that way. Like, you're just posting your target audience, and my target audience has and always is, at this point, music tech companies.
Right.
So even getting to do this and work with you, like, that's all part of the plan.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, it's like, and to be intentional with it, because obviously you could post every day on social media, but if you're not putting the things out there that people want to see, then you won't see any result from it.
Exactly.
So, and then when you treated this room, like, what kind of feedback did you get from people on social media?
Oh my God. It was like, usually I'll get some people like, oh, this doesn't make much of a difference, whatever. No, everyone was like, I mean, it was like night and day. You can hear it. I mean, even when I'll sometimes, like, try to make a video, like, downstairs, like, in the kitchen. I'm like, I can't. Because, like, the echo and the acoustic, it's like, it's off. It's like, it's so clean in here.
Yeah. And it doesn't take much. I mean, this is a small bedroom.
Yeah.
But and you have a decent amount of panels in here. But for what you do, too, it's like vocals and doing social media posts and things like that. It's perfect because it creates a more dry environment and really helps to kind of set it off. So.
And some people, of course, are like, oh, you should have put this there and this there. But I'm like, this does the job.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. When we do studios, when we're designing from the ground up, we're doing custom bass trapping and all this thing, but that's not what you wanted. You know, you wanted some control and
also I don't own this house, so I'm gonna have to move. So I don't want anything that's gonna be like mega hard to, anything. It sucks moving, but like, it's not impossible to move. I was really surprised on how light the panels were.
Oh, right. Like weight, you mean?
Yeah, like I like, they look kind of like heavy, you know? And then they're like kind of like a feather.
Yeah, I think these panels weigh about 5 pounds, something like that.
They're super light.
Yeah. And installation, did you hire that out? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, I'm not a handy girl. I wish I was. There's stuff you can't really see, but there's stuff on the ceilings, and I was like, oh, they're gonna fall, and I just
gotta do it right.
Yeah, I mean, maybe now that I've seen somebody do it, I can do it, but I'm also like not like the biggest perfectionist, and the person that I had come in, they like made sure every distance between each panel was like exact. Like, you could see it's like everything's exactly spaced out.
Well, and I remember when you posted that, like, a lot of people commented on the panels, like, where'd you get those panels from? Acoustical fulfillment, and all that stuff. But then, like, so many people were like, I want that laser level, like that you had a laser that would get them all at the right height.
Yeah, because like that's what he does. Like, he works in studios and stuff. He's not just like any contractor. Yeah. And so he was like very serious about it, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's next for you? What do you think?
Just chucking away.
Yeah.
Building my pages and working with more companies, and like I said, that cycle that I'm trying to initiate and hopefully get more and more people on board with.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
The ecosystem.
Keep it going. And we were both also just at the NAMM show.
Yes.
Like, we didn't run into each other there, but you were busy kind of going around. Had you been to NAMM before? Or?
Yes. Okay. I went last year.
Okay.
This year was better for me. Last year, that was my first year, so I didn't really know what to expect. And it was just like, we woke up really early, did the booths first, and then we were like way too tired for like the hangs. And this year we did it different.
Yeah.
We didn't go first thing. Like, we were like the first people in the room last year, and this year we were like, no. Yeah. It's just too much.
You gotta pace yourself.
Literally.
Like, it can be too much.
The other thing we did this year is we got a hotel like right on the premises. Like, we stayed at the Hilton.
Oh yeah.
And like, that's really great because even just going up to the room for like a 30-minute like break.
Yep.
was like all of the difference.
That's awesome. And so were you working with a lot of the manufacturers that you've worked with here?
Yes, yeah. Like met with a lot of people that I've worked with. I got to see in person and just like chat because I work remotely. And it's mostly just like me by myself. And it was also nice to see like a lot of my like followers. I did a meet and greet at Apogee.
Yeah.
So it's nice because like on the internet, like the hate can seem so much louder than the love, right? But in person, when people are coming up to you like, oh, thank you so much for the tips, and you've really helped me, and it's so great, all the things you've done, and it like really solidifies, okay, this is why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for these people, not for the haters.
Yeah.
And it's just so hard to forget, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes, they're more vocal. They're more vocal, the ones that have negative things to say. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I get a lot of love on the internet, don't get me wrong, but you don't concentrate on that when it's just words.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's so messed up.
Yeah.
Humans are just love to suffer, I guess.
Well, I really enjoy like what you do. Like I follow you, of course, on all the platforms, and every time you have a new video, it's like it's really cool because sometimes the tips that you give, there's stuff that you could just like if you read the manual, like you would know it, but not everybody reads the manual.
No,
and
not everybody
it's
reads
amazing
the manual.
because you do it quickly and succinctly, and people get the information, and then like I see why it's successful for you, and I'm kind of wishing you all the best for future stuff. So awesome.
Thank you, and I'm excited to see that everything that's going on with the podcast, and
thanks.
I'm proud of you for doing it.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a little out of the wheelhouse from the way that we used to be doing things, but also it's like. It's just been so rewarding because when we put out these videos, for instance, just recently we started doing a job for Andrew Marshall. He's Billie Eilish's drummer.
Yeah.
And he called me and he said, "All right, I've watched all of your YouTube videos and I want to go with you, but how does this work?" Like it was awesome to hear that people are out there watching these videos and it's obviously it's marketing to some point, but you're helping people out and kind of getting them a good understanding of what's going on.
For sure.
So.
And also people want to work with people that they kind of feel like they know and like.
Sure.
So you're not just like a name and a directory or whatever.
Yeah. I got feedback recently on a podcast that they said like, yeah, you just are really approachable, and it seemed like someone I could talk to. And
especially in this industry when there's because like there was other people reaching out to me about like setting up panels and stuff, and they led in kind of a negative way, like if you want to take your studio to the next level, like you got to work with me, or like you could be doing so much more, like that kind of like. That
makes you feel good.
Yeah, no, like, and there's a lot of those kind of like bullying kind of things, or like, let me know when you're serious about it or whatever.
Yeah, that's not our approach.
And I just feel like that deters a lot of people from this industry in general, which is great to be more approachable.
Yeah,
for more people.
Just treat people with kindness, right?
Literally,
that's all you need to do. So.
It's also just like not that serious.
Yeah, that's true. That's
like,
true.
Like people make like music tech like so serious. It just like doesn't need to be.
Yeah, I agree. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you sitting down with us.
Of
course. It's like we were in town, and I was like, man, this would be a great opportunity to sit down with Seids and just talk about what's going on with you these days, and just like everything you're doing is amazing, and I appreciate you taking the time. So
thank you so much for coming.
All right. So this has been the S.O.U.N.D Project. Really appreciate everybody being a part of it. If you've got some ideas for future podcasts, feel free to email us at info@haverstickdesigns.com, and we will see you next week.